Before we
And that's
end,
been draining.
I want to ask you a question about chairs. Like, what is your you're very interested in chairs. You've done a lot with chairs. You've created chairs. A lot of designers seem to love chairs. So I'm really interested in that. And you've done this story. We talked about it earlier on chairs for Google Arts and Culture through Mode. Uh,
Yes.
Explain, please, how that came about and also why. I'm very interested, and also from a cultural perspective.
So basically, the misnomer about seating out of
Mm.
India is that it didn't exist until the British came in. This is what is widely understood. And so, in our research for Design the India Story, we came upon a lot of interesting writing on ancient Indian texts that are talking about various kinds of wood carvings, like so many different types. I'm not talking about decoration, I'm talking about techniques of joinery, of wood. And then we started looking at various statues and paintings and other forms of, so my point being, I've always run away with my idea before. The words are a little slower than my mind. But what I'm trying to say is that we started out saying, oh, such poor visual record, such poor record of
Mm.
our design history. And then I started looking around at our sculptures and our miniatures and our folios and manuscripts, the Jain manuscripts. And then all of a sudden, because we've always looked at it as, let's say, an idol, or as an object of worship, or as a text, a sacred text. We haven't looked at it for what are they sitting on, or how were the Mughal miniatures, like what is that bolster, what kind of throne is it. So then we started looking, and then all of a sudden it just kind of opened up. I mean, it was that day, those days, with everybody at the office was so exciting, because everyone would be like, oh my God, I found this fan. And that, even the various types of fans that we have
Mm.
came about from the miniature. So they just all of a sudden, from having no record of how we lived, we had opened up like a Pandora's box. And so then we went to the Ajanta and Ellora caves, which I've put in our Google Arts and Culture exhibit, which you can actually tour it
Yeah.
online, and which you may not even be able to go into right now, because a lot of it is not so safe. So they kind of, they don't allow you in. But here you can go into that cave number 8, I think, where you go in and you see it's like a conference of Buddhas, and the kind of chairs they're sitting on, it's actually quite remarkable. They're all arcaded backs. And so we used coins, we used sculptures as proof of, to evidence where seating had come into India. And so I feel like that was a story I really wanted to tell. Then, after having done that through different stages, then we wanted to bring it into, sort of like pre-contemporary, pre-modern. Like right now, we all know where we are. But like in the West, we have different styles, and they're cataloged. Like, all right, so there's the Art Deco period, or there's brutalism, or there's the Victorian, the Baroque, there are isms. But in India, we don't have that. Everything's like kind of, so we really wanted to try and research and create some language or
Like a
some
catalog.
form, a catalog, yeah, and try and give style. So then, and we sat down and we did that, me and my team, and I had a great team. Each one of them was just amazing. And it was really sweet, because we were so excited every time we found something new. And so, yeah, so we managed to create different styles and catalog those styles, and find examples to fit them, or examples that led us to sort of give it a certain thing. And wonderful things that we looked at. One of them was the Army Navy catalog, that like a massive catalog that I found in a thrift store, like a big catalog of furniture. So what they were called at that time, we just know what is it, Anglo-Indian. Like,
Mm.
when in doubt, call it Anglo-Indian. But so we got a lot of like Indo-Portuguese, Indo-Islamic, we got a lot of styles, and we picked different things, like, what the motifs are, where the language is. So yeah, so I think That was our attempt to establish where seating started, what it was. It wasn't just about gods. It was about people, learned people. There was a respect for not nobility by birth, but also nobility by action. So if you were a doctor or a priest, I don't want to bring religion into it. So I'm just trying to say that if you were a person of high learning, you would sit at an elevated seat. So we really wanted to bring out these things about seating in India, really trace the history and sort of like prove that and put it out there. And of course, create the catalog of various styles, which I think we were able to do, and we're building on it. And it's wide, and I mean there's so many different kinds because it was all done by hand. It wasn't mass produced. That it's literally that each one is a masterpiece. Really, it's bespoke and couture or whatever you want to call it, but each one is a masterpiece in the hands of a craftsman and unique piece by itself. So it really deserved to be told. And we're going to keep expanding it. I mean, I love that.
Yeah,
I'd love to
I
take
love
that to
that.
somewhere
It's
else. Yeah.
so moving. Also, you take the
Yeah.
chair and you literally,
Yeah.
you do what you're saying, you bring down the walls.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.